Make sure you use a class 66 bobbin with round faces. I'm going to keep the thread at the bottom of the bobbin. This is wrong. This is right, it's important. Wait, let's just look first at the bobbin holder here. So we have the screw, we have the side tension spring, and then this is the cut where the thread will enter. And this is a notch where the thread will exit, and this is important. If you want as reference, notice this is where you actually grab the bobbin to remove it from there. So these points, this is entering the thread and this is exiting. If you want this small notch, you can feel it with your fingernail. Notice that the side spring goes farther away, but this notch is right there. So I'm going to get the thread inside here and I'm going to exit it here, and you need to check it comes out here, not in the middle there. Let's just do it. Again, thread is at the bottom, and what I like to do, instead of dropping the bobbin, I like to keep the thread in tension with my fingers. Let's just zoom, focus in. So I put tension on the thread, the bobbin is here. So I put tension, I put it on this border right before the notch to enter the thread, and I just lower my fingers and insert the thread in there. You can pull on the bobbin gently. So the bobbin is on this end. Just handle the thread. I keep the tension on the bobbin and I just slide the thread until this notch. Actually, you will feel like a small click. So the bobbin is on this end, and this one is the free end of the thread. And notice it must sit into that notch, and you need to recheck it. Now let's drop the bobbin inside again. The thread is at the bottom of the bobbin, important, not at the top. Let's drop the bobbin in there carefully, and you will see I'm going to pull this thread. And the way you need to pull on it, my suggestion is hold the bobbin, pull on this thread, and you notice I'm not pulling to the left, I'm not pulling to the right, I'm pulling at 45 degrees. That's how you should handle this thread, so it stays into that notch. Let's just pull on it. I'm holding the bobbin, notice. And if I pull on the thread, notice the rotation of the bobbin. This is the correct rotation, not the other way around. And notice the thread is staying into that notch. Again, just hold the bobbin and put tension on the thread to have it stay there. Then I'm going to hold it like this, and notice it's at 45 degrees. I'm going to close the plate here, and notice what I'm doing. So I keep the thread at 45 degrees, I close the plate, and the thread enters this notch here, just like that. Don't let the thread go. I'm not pulling to rotate the bobbin, but I keep a little bit of tension on it. Don't let it go at this point. Just bring it towards the front of the machine, maybe pull one more time to make sure it stays into that notch, and just let it drop in there. If you open the plate, you should see the thread, it's into that notch and didn't move from there. That's what's important here. Okay, let's just try to catch the thread. I'm not sure why I like to say capture it. So this is my upper thread from the needle. Remember that the needle gets threaded from front to rear. This is important. And also I have another needle here. The correct position of the needle in this machine. So the needle, you know, it has a flat face. The correct position is flat face towards the rear of the machine, round face towards you. This is the correct position, flat rear. Don't forget this point. So I'm just going to grab the thread here. Just be careful so you don't get it around the needle like this. So just make sure the thread comes out from the rear of the needle. I'm just going to pass it in between the presser foot bumps, and the thread from the needle will just hang freely, no tension, towards the rear of the machine. And I forgot to mention, presser foot, it's lifted, not lower. Again, make sure the thread goes from front to rear and it's not tangled around the needle. Yeah, my front thread got. Okay, so let's turn the hand well. Hand well turns, let's see here. I'm going to rotate the hand well like this. So I don't know how to call this, but the top of the hand well moves like this towards me. If you want, it's kind of counterclockwise, but more or less. So by hand, let's just give it one turn and notice the needle, when I did put the bobbin, the needle was at the highest point. Let's rotate the hand well. You will see when it's going to grab the lower thread, you'll see getting it inside. Okay, needle it's all the way up again. Let's just at this point grab the free thread here. With my left hand I keep it, and with the right hand I'm going to grab the thread from underneath the needle. If you use your fingers, just be careful. And I'm going just to put tension in it. Let's try it again. Oops. So I'm really just pulling on the thread underneath the needle. If you want, let me just give you an idea. I can remove it from underneath the presser foot. So this is really the thread from the needle. I'm just putting tension on it. And here comes the thread from the bobbin, the white one. Let's move some more. There you have it. This is the thread from the bobbin. This is the thread from the needle. If you look here, let's just put the thread from the needle to the side. The thread from the bobbin before was inside this hole, and now it's from inside this hole. This is where you want to start using your machine. It has to come out through that very hole there. So at this moment, what we want to do is grab the thread from the needle. Again, make sure it's not tangled. We are going to put it just like before in between the presser foot bumps. Make sure it goes front to rear. So it goes into this hole here and it's going to hang freely at the rear of the machine. And the same I'm going to do with the thread from the bobbin, the white one. From this hole, I'm going just to, actually it's important to give it a good length. I would say about 1 foot. 1 foot for each, about 30 centimeters. So let's look again. Thread from the needle, from front to rear and into this hole and towards the rear of the machine. Thread from the bobbin from this hole here underneath the presser foot and towards the rear of the machine, hanging freely. Let's just place a piece of paper. So I'm going just to put this fabric, slide it from front to rear so as not to disturb these threads. They still go at the rear. Lower the presser foot, which will always be forgotten. It's the thing that we forgot the most, to lower the presser foot and just start sewing. And when everything is finished, we just rotate, lift the presser foot, rotate the hand well counterclockwise, just like when capturing the thread, until the tip of the needle must come at the top position. This is very important. When you want to remove the material, the fabric, the tip of the needle must come at the very top. Only when the tip of the needle comes at the very top, you can wiggle it a bit, make sure it's at the very top. You can go past at the very top, but has to reach the very top. When the tip of the needle is reaching the very top, then the thread from the bobbin is unlocked and only then you are able to pull the material like this. Only then. If you don't lift by hand the tip of the needle at the very top, you won't be able to pull on the white thread, is going to be locked. Don't forget this very important point. So what I'm going to do now is simply just cut the two threads, give them good length, and just like before, for the next sewing moment, place them towards the rear of the machine. The top is between the presser foot, the bobbin, just like that, and you sew another fabric. Don't forget this point about lifting the tip of the needle at the highest in order to be able to pull on the bobbin thread, otherwise it's going to be locked. And when you store your machine, always lower the presser foot like this, and it's a good idea to also lower the needle so you don't accidentally moving your hands around to puncture your fingers.